At any rate, here's the phone number. Open line Friday. Talk about whatever you want, folks. You know the drill. 800-282-2882. If you want to send an email, lrushmo@eibnet.us. Trump's also sent them into a tizzy by calling the special counsel a witch hunt, which it is. I got Elijah Cummings. I happen to be smack dab in the middle of show prep today. It was about an hour ago, 10 minutes after 11 Eastern. And I happened to look up at a TV monitor, and it is Elijah Cummings is on both. And Elijah Cummings and a bunch of Congress had just come out of a briefing that the Deputy Attorney General had conducted with members of the House, Oversight Committee? Yeah. On the reasoning for choosing a special counsel and who the special counsel is and blah, 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 blah. And I looked at this and said, what is he talking? He looks sad. Cummings looked sad. He seemed incoherent. For the longest time, he couldn't put two words together to make any sense, and certainly no sentences. And I said, what am I looking at here? Am I looking at an act? Or did Rosenstein not tell this guy what he wanted to hear in this closed session? What the hell went on? And I kept listening. I finally figured it out. And I've got the sound bites. I told Cookie I want these at the top of the list. Grab 2 and 3. I'm trying to figure out which one to play first. Let's play them in order here. Play number 2. This just an hour ago. This Elijah Cummings, a congressional black Caucasians, a member of the House Democrat. Listen.
If there is any moment that the press in our country's history has a major role, it is this moment. This is your moment. You have got to put it out there so people can understand what is going on. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. This is about the fight for the soul of our democracy. We cannot afford to lose this one.
I sit here and I'm literally stunned to the degree of panic these people obviously have reached. This kind of thinking and this kind of behavior, this kind of messaging, this stems from people who think they are losing. This comes from people who are, in fact, losing it. There is no evidence that the Russians did anything except expose the cheating on the Democrat side. If the Russians exposed anything, it was that the Democrat primaries were hacked. Sorry, wrong word. That the Democrat primary was rigged against Bernie Sanders. We learned this after the Democrat National Committee computers and network were hacked. This is not the Podesta dump. That's a whole different thing. We learned that the Democrat National Committee, Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz, working with Hillary to make sure that nobody but Hillary got the Democrat nomination. And these people have the audacity to talk about something for which there is no evidence. And there will not be any evidence, not any real evidence, that the Russians tampered with the presidential election. We don't know if the Russians tampered with the Democrat primaries, but we know that the Democrats did. And here's Elijah Cummings, as somber as I've ever heard him, talking about how democracy hangs in the... He doesn't even support our democracy. This guy is for something more like a totalitarian command and control country with the Democrats in charge of it. This is a guy that doesn't trust democracy. The Democrats are losing elections. That's why they don't trust democracy. But to stand up there and act like we are on our last legs, the Russian collusion with Trump is forcing us to the precipice, and our country may not exist as our precious founders designed. It's just literally insane. Here's the next Elijah Cummings soundbite I want to get to hear.
You've got the investigation as to whether or not there was any kind of collusion with the Trump administration's campaign or President Trump. And 3, you've got a question of whether there is some type of cover-up. When you're dealing with the FBI, this is a whole nother ballgame. People can lie and lie and lie to each other, but if an FBI agent walks into your office and asks you some questions, that's the time when the lie, if it stays a lie, that is an offense which you can be charged with.
What in the hell is he? Now he's begging for a process crime. Now he's saying, well, we may not have any evidence out there, but we can sure as hell get us a process crime. The question he was asked, Congressman Cummings, do you believe that the appointment of the special counsel was warranted and a good move? Well, you got the investigation here, you got the investigation over there, the investigation, our investigation here, the investigation over there. And you can lie, and you can lie, and you can lie, you can lie to us, you can lie, but you lie to the FBI, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. They've got nothing. You know what they're hoping? They're hoping that just the investigation itself, the elongated, prolonged investigation itself, creates an attitude that Trump is engaged in scandal and thus needs to be impeached or dispatched somehow. Dianne Feinstein said again today, there's no evidence of any collusion. Nobody's found any. How many different investigations are looking for it? And for over a year, and there isn't. And the only rigging of elections, again, Democrat primaries, crazy Bernie screwed by the DNC and Hillary. It's amazing.